Catholic school has filed a federal lawsuit against the city of South Euclid in what may become a major legal battle over what is discrimination and what is religious freedom.
The Lyceum, a small independent Catholic school with about 50 students, is backed by the Alliance Defending Freedom, a national nonprofit legal organization. In that lawsuit, the school alleges that the city's year-old ordinance infringes upon their rights as a religious institution. News 5's Jordan Vandenberg live to break it down for us.
Well, the school says it has not been formally accused of violating this ordinance, which was enacted in 2018, but they felt like they needed to file the lawsuit anyway in order to prevent the city from enforcing it against them in the future. South Euclid City Hall and the Lyceum Catholic School are just blocks apart. But when it comes to an ordinance passed nearly a year ago, they might as well be divided by an entire ocean.
The city's hostility toward us for our religious views has left us with no choice but to file this lawsuit.
Joined by the Alliance Defending Freedom, the Lyceum filed this federal lawsuit against the city of South Euclid related to the city's 2018 anti-discrimination ordinance. South Euclid forbids discrimination against people on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation, among other things. Before the council passed it, they removed from the ordinance a portion that applies to educational institutions, and therefore, the city believes places like the Lyceum are exempt from the ordinance. The plaintiffs, however, see it entirely differently.
The law was horrifically drafted and is extremely vague. The Lyceum actually sent a letter to the law director of the city asking them specifically, does the law apply to our school? Do you intend to apply the law to our school? And the city essentially said, find yourself a lawyer. We won't tell you. So the Lyceum, in the face of fines of up to $500 per day and 60 days of jail time, has no other option but to assume the city does plan to apply the law to the school.
In fact, all educational institutions are not a component of this law, so it does not affect them as far as I can see in any way.
The Lyceum also alleges the city ordinance infringes upon their First Amendment rights by preventing the independent Catholic school from implementing and advertising policies on admission and hiring that are aligned with their faith.
Ever since it was first brought up, we have been forthright and clear about the threat the city's ordinance presents to the Lyceum. Religious schools like the Lyceum have the freedom to operate consistently with our beliefs, but the city's ordinance jeopardizes this freedom and threatens to crush us.
City spokesman Keith Benjamin could not elaborate on the lawsuit because the city has yet to be served with it. However, he said the ordinance, which took nearly a year to finalize, was modeled after similar ordinances passed by other cities.
It is heartbreaking that an organization called Alliance Defending Freedom would not work to defend the rights of all people who live in our community.
If we want freedom for ourselves, we must extend it to others, and especially to those with whom we disagree.
And as part of that 2018 ordinance, the city also created what's called the Civil Rights Review Board to hear and investigate complaints. However, in the year since the ordinance has been passed, that board has had 0 complaints. Reporting live in South Euclid, Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.